Okay, we are live now. How are you guys doing? Good. So, can you go to YouTube and check out the broadcast? So, I'll do the same thing. So, we are live on YouTube. Okay, so YouTube better, huh? So, let me see if I could see myself on YouTube and see your comments. Can you put some comments on YouTube? Okay, good. I could see you guys chatting there. Okay. There might be a small delay. Okay, everybody's fine. So we're going to start. Okay, everybody's fine. So we're going to start. Okay. Okay. We're going to start. So thank you all for joining. So we're going to edit the first part. It's fine. So welcome to ENGG950. So we are doing lecture 5 now. And basically today we're going to be talking about jobs to be done analysis. The jobs to be done analysis is something you'll be using in assignment 1, which is due next week. And we'll be talking about assignment 1 as well. So let's go ahead and do this. So guys, if you want to go ahead and join only on YouTube, and you can post your comments there. I think we only have 2 left now because Hangouts is giving a lot of delay. So you want to do that? It's easier to go on YouTube. So Omar and Ahmed, you want to leave now here and join there? It's easier. There might be a small delay, but we'll do our best. Okay? So let's do this. So I want to start sharing presentation. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so we'll be talking about, please, for now, because of the YouTube / Hangouts delay thing that's happening, if you want to post, it's easier for me if you could post comments or questions on the WhatsApp group. Okay, it's easier so I could see your questions and then I'll pause and answer them. That's the best we could do now. And then we could discuss as we go on. Okay, can we do that? Can you say okay on the WhatsApp group that you understand what I'm saying, so that for communication purposes, we'll try this today. So you see me, you want to ask questions, post it on the WhatsApp group because I could see it next to me and I could respond to them live. Perfect. Thank you guys. Thank you for the okays. Yes, perfect. And again, all this will be cut and edited. I'm going to upload a nice version at the end. But today we're trying this. We just wasted about 10 minutes, but that's fine. We're learning. So, all right, you can see the presentation clear, crystal clear, right? The PowerPoint. You can see it fine. And you can hear me fine. You can see the presentation and hear me fine. Okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So again, the group is open next to me, and I can see what you guys are typing. And questions, it's perfect. You can even send audio messages. Let's try this on the group. Audio. You can even send video. And when we're going to do activities, you would share what you're doing on the group as well. So we can use like 2 technologies at the same time. So that's the idea behind it. So I think it's cool. It's easier like this, where you're seeing and you're interacting with your phone or if you have a tablet and so on. Okay, so officially we are starting now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so welcome to ENGG950 job to be done analysis. Again, this is something so important because it's a technique that allows us to actually analyze and identify the opportunities. So we talked about SET factors, which are social, economy, and technology. Remember? So that tool, this SET factors, was utilized in order to identify an opportunity gap. So basically, that was one way to do it. Again, as I said, in innovation, you have different kinds of processes and methodologies proposed by different groups. So you have the MIT group, you have the Stanford group from Silicon Valley, and you have many other universities and, again, researchers proposing ways in order to identify the opportunity. Again, there's no magical recipe, but these are processes. If we follow, we kind of could guarantee to an extent that we will identify a gap. We're not identifying an idea, we're identifying a gap. So this is the concept behind jobs to be done analysis, the same concept behind SET. Both of these techniques, and we're going to talk about another technique later on, all of which are related to identifying the opportunity gap, the POG that we called it. So if we look at the agenda for today, we're going to talk about the concept of hiring a product. Hiring a product meaning the product is only a tool in order to achieve a job. So that's why we always say avoid thinking about ideas, avoid thinking about a new invention. Focus on the job. What is the job to be done? What are we trying to do? And that product just happens to be the best option or choice that allows us to do that specific job. So that's what we call jobs to be done analysis. So basically, what is the job to be done? One, and what's the best way to do that job? Again, best could be very subjective, obviously. So I could have a best way, but yours is better. So best according to me. And this is what innovation is all about. We all have a job to be done. Could be from the basic stuff like this, what we're doing now. Recording a video lecture live, allowing 15, 20 students to attend. We noticed that the job to be done was this. The best way, quote unquote, was Google Hangouts or using Zoom. Neither worked, right? Because we had a lot of obstacles. One was blocked. The other one had some delays. So we went to another way to do it, which is the way we're doing it now. We're using 2 different technologies at the same time. So are we good? Any questions so far? Are we good? Again, let's use the thumb up if we're good, just for interaction purposes. So thumbs up if we're fine. If you want to pose a question, just pause me and ask the question. So far, so good? Thumbs up? Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we will be talking about, thank you. So we'll be talking about also the outcome expectation analysis. This is so important. Please let me just pause here, because that is a big part of your assignment 1 analysis. And this is where a lot of you would spend so much time on working on the analysis. So you as a group, by the way, you could use Google Hangout with your team like we did now, because we were many. Maybe you had some delays, but the idea is you could work together virtually like we're doing now and working on the outcome expectations. So I'll be spending some time today. Obviously, we'll do about 45 minutes. We're going to stop, take a break. You could have drink something and relax. And then we do another 45 minutes, another 45 minutes. So we'll have breaks in between, okay? So number one, we'll be talking about jobs to be done analysis. Number two, we'll be talking about outcome expectations analysis, which is basically how do we quantify the outcome of the jobs to be done that we're trying to do? What are the characteristics that we want in the jobs to be done? And finally, identify clear opportunity gaps. So in the SET, yes, we are able to identify gaps, but we did not quantify them. The cool thing about job to be done analysis is we can quantify the actual gap, meaning we could give it a number. Say the gap here is 0.8, the gap here is, I don't know, 0.3. Hence, here it's bigger. Hence, we need to invest our time and money and resources on that specific gap. Okay, so let's have a quick discussion. You know, just to show you that even when we do virtual sessions, we can easily share discussions, share ideas. So the big question is, when do you have your best ideas? So go ahead, share with me here. When do you have your best ideas? So when, like, if I want to come and say, where do your beautiful ideas and maybe groundbreaking ideas come from, or when? Okay, so share some thoughts. It could be keywords now, and when you say them, I'm going to share them here as well and discuss them. Again, we're using now me doing audio, you're doing commenting with texts, but we can always do later on audio, which is something interesting. Okay, so I like it. So let me just go ahead and share. So thank you, Amr. So Amr is saying, again, deep diving into a certain field. Okay, sure, why not? So when you're diving into something, but can you be more specific? So while traveling, so I like this. Al-Wathi, so while traveling. So I totally agree. Some people go to resorts, go to destinations, just to sit on a beach and come up with the next big thing. You know, that's very common. I totally agree. So ideas could come from while you're contemplating in a very quiet place, staring at the walls. That's funny, Amran. So yes, yeah, it could be while staring at the walls. Some people like to be on their own, staring and thinking on the beach. Necessity for something. I totally agree. I mean, necessity is the mother of invention, as you said. So yes, it could be when I have to do something, then I have to come up with the idea. Yes, that's kind of a cliche that we've been always saying, necessity is the mother of invention. Okay. Amira, okay, yes, okay, sorry, but your names are a bit confusing. Brainstorming. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. I like that I'm seeing what you're sharing and I'm commenting on them live. I totally agree. So ideas do come from, again, from different places. It could be inspiration. It could be you are inspired. And again, we're talking about ideas, not opportunity gaps. So you could be inspired by a movie. Like, for example, myself, I could watch a sci-fi movie, Avatar or Minority Report or something that came out, you know. I'm like, Ready Player One. I don't know if you've seen it, Spielberg. Again, you see, oh, wow, virtual reality used in education. Like we said, we're trying to start something so simple, which is virtual classroom, which has been there for quite a bit, but you want to take it to the next level. You know, why not use Oculus, use virtual reality for teaching? So basically, yes, ideas do come from different places. It could be inspired by people, could be inspired by events. And to be honest, we'll talk about Steven Johnson now. It could also be kind of incubation. You know, this is so cool. Incubation, and I don't know if you've heard of incubators. So the idea of incubators, they incubate companies. It's like, you know, like chicken, you know, you're incubating. So you have an egg and you make it hatch and make it bigger. And so this is what we call incubation. So incubators are ideas that are so small, they kind of start, but they're not mature enough. So many companies invest from angel investors later on, you know, invest in ideas that are simple. At the same time, these ideas could become something big later on. So while we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and share with you Steven Johnson's concept of where do good ideas come from, you know? And this is kind of a famous book. that Stephen Johnson had published, and he has like a nice video. We're gonna watch together now. We're gonna watch together this concept of Stephen Johnson. So stay with me now. I'm gonna share with you Stephen Johnson's concept of where do ideas come from. Okay. I'll stop sharing this, and I'm gonna. You can see me now live without the lecture notes. So I'm back to you seeing me. So we're gonna go now and share Stephen Johnson's video on where do ideas come from. Okay? Definitely, yeah, we could get inspired when we read books as well. Totally agree. So let's go ahead and see. Okay.
For the past 5 years, I've been investigating this question. Organizations. I've looked at this problem. Spaces, historically led. I found all these systems. There are these recurring patterns that you see again and again that are crucial to creating environments.
Okay.
One pattern called slow.
So the video is lagging a bit. Okay. Okay, the voice is not clear. That's fine. So we could go back. Okay, yeah, why don't we do that? So I'll send you guys the video and take a couple of minutes, watch it, and then we will go back to discussing it. Okay? Okay? So we'll do that. Okay, so I'll share the video. So let me go ahead and share Stephen Johnson's video. You could watch it, please, and we can discuss it. Okay? So let me go ahead and type it. Okay, typing it now. Just give me 1 second. So okay, so you guys are with me still, huh? Okay, try this out. Okay, perfect. So I'll give you a couple of minutes and come back to me. Okay. When you're done watching, just put 2 thumbs up, and then we'll discuss it real quick together. Okay, guys, when you are done, let me know. Okay, guys, still there? Okay, guys. Okay, thank you, Amr. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so again, the idea. Let's discuss this real quick while we're at it. Okay, so where do good ideas come from? Let's give me some keywords and let's discuss them. Just keywords. You want to go ahead and start sharing some keywords? So according to Stephen Johnson, where do good ideas come from? Hinges. Yes, yes, I like it. I like it, Omar. Thank you guys, by the way, for being very active. So they do come from hinges. Again, what else? Yeah, hunches. What else? Yes, this combination is so important. So the idea of combining one hunch to another hunch, and basically it's like you cannot do something by yourself. On your own, you might have a good idea, but you're not perfect. You're not, again, you don't have expertise in every single field. Combining different hunches would lead to a better innovation. Again, no distractions. Thank you. Dormant ideas, I totally agree as well. A lot of ideas are sometimes dormant in the back end. Again, the good example was the World Wide Web, which is like an idea that took time for the world to see it. So again, time to evolve, as you said as well. Combining dormant ideas, connectivity. So again, the big debate about the internet. So is internet good? Is it bad? Is it distracting? Or is it actually helping? Sharing ideas and experiences, yes, as well. So everybody has their own experience. And once we share it with others, we might learn from their experiences and combine them together as well. Swapping ideas, mingling them. So a lot of you actually obviously understood what Stephen Johnson's trying to say. Again, as I said, this is a very famous book on innovation. And basically, a lot of people ask the same question: where do I get my ideas? And maybe I asked it before we started. We said, when do we get our best ideas? Now it's more, where do these ideas come from? Again, swapping and mingling ideas. So a lot of your ideas, again, thank you for sharing them. One by one, I think all your comments are definitely valid. So Incubation, yeah, something I started with talking about as well. So the example of incubators that we see all around us as well, meaning it takes time, as you many of you said as well. So the idea is not like today I came up with an idea, I'm going to invent something new. Usually it takes time and time and time, and I incubate it, I invest in it, and it grows and grows and grows to become a bigger company. So we have a hands up. I like this. Yeah, if you have a question, put your hands up so I could see a hand up here. Good idea, Amr. So let's use this emoji for asking questions. So it looks like an actual hand. So Amr, tell me, you could send an audio message, by the way, and we could all hear it, and I could reply to it. I know it's a bit outdated, but I think it's efficient if you want. Yes, go ahead. The smaller the margin for innovative people. Of course, of course. Yes, I totally agree. Yes, according to him and according to me, obviously this is the challenge. It's kind of there's a paradox here. If you remember the SET, the social economy and technology, the third thing is technology, which means usually for you to find a gap, you need the technology that can help you to find that gap. So this is where the irony is. The future or now, it's way more, a lot of people say it's so difficult now to come up with a new idea because all the ideas I came up with, you know, this is where they say, this is the logic that you're kind of implying, is obviously the more we become the future, the more difficult it becomes for us to be more innovative. But again, at the same time, because new technologies are coming out, the question is, how can I use these new technologies to come up with new ideas nobody thought of using these technologies? So for example, a new technology came out, which is wireless energy transfer. Like some of you did a project on it, assignment activity. So wireless energy transfer. So this came out the last 10 years. This wasn't there. So somebody who came up with the idea 20, 30 years ago, maybe they had an idea about using wireless energy, but the technology did not exist then. So the more it's a win-win for in some cases, and sometimes we lose in some cases. So some technologies will help us to become more innovative. And sometimes because a lot of people came up with a lot of ideas, the odds are it's more difficult to come up with new ideas. So again, it's kind of a balance between utilizing new technology in order to come up with new ideas. That's one part. And without these technologies, these ideas would not even exist. Okay, so let's move on. Let me I kind of summarized what Stephen Johnson's trying to say here. So the patterns are simple. Again, this is quote unquote, but followed together, they make for a whole that is wiser than the sum of its parts. Something I talked about in class as well many, many times is you have different parts, again, relating to what we just discussed. By themselves, they do small things. Combining them together, we might do something way bigger. And again, we gave a lot of examples. We said the phone, for example. The phone is not a phone anymore. We have a calculator on one end. We have a camera on the other end. We have a phone on one end. Each one was doing their own thing. When we combined all these together in something we called a smartphone, this is how the sum of the parts became, obviously, the whole became bigger than the sum of the parts, okay? Again, go for a walk, cultivate hunches, something a lot of you said. So cultivate these hunches, you know, try to utilize them, try to make use of them. Write everything down. You know, there's like a good saying about somebody who was a millionaire. He said, how did you make all your money? He said one thing, it's this pen and this notebook, you know, because everything that happens around me, I write them down, I jot them down. You know, obviously back then it was a pen and a paper. These days it's your phone or any technology. So I always try to put stuff down and keep your folders messy even if you're not organized. Sometimes putting a lot of things and later on you can organize them to actually make use of them. Embrace serendipity. This is so important. What does serendipity mean? It means embrace chances. You know, we call them opportunities. So coincidences. Something happens, you know, embrace this. You know, don't say, oh, it's a coincidence. No, it's not a coincidence. There's nothing, it's a coincidence. Try to make use of it, so embrace it. Make mistakes, accept them, and learn from them. So that's totally normal as part of innovation. Take a lot of hobbies. Again, go to coffee houses. You know, again, maybe not many of you mentioned this. He talked about coffee houses, you know, the idea of feeling comfortable in a place to share ideas. And this is why we had kind of an evolution or a revolution, you know, when it comes to innovation, because of these coffee houses back then that allowed people to share ideas in order to actually mingle with each other and come up with new ideas. Follow the links, let other build on your ideas as well. So this is so important. Your idea by itself, 99.99% is going to die, trust me. But if ideas build on ideas, they will end up becoming something. You know, that's why try people, don't kind of hide yourself away from others. At the same time, use others' concepts and ideas. So yes, good luck. You say talk about serendipity. Yes, again, it's chance, it's coincidence. If you want to talk in Arabic, it's sudfa. That's what serendipity is. Okay, so yes, it's kind of a coincidence. It's something happening by chance. Again, borrow ideas, use ideas, reinvent them, make something new out of them, and create a bank of ideas. So all these kind of, I put them together, all these major points that you see in front of you are correlated with what Stephen Johnson is trying to say. So this is something you want to keep in mind is when I want to come up with the next big idea, first, I need to kind of identify the opportunity. I need to figure out the jobs to be done. And later on, I could use all these techniques that we're talking about in order to come up with ideas. So let me give you some example. iPod. I think you all know iPod, right? I don't know if back in your days, when the iPod came, it was huge. You know, so the iPod, when it came, it went from concept to the market in only 8 months. And this is kind of an achievement, you know, because again, we talk about technologies, and I mentioned it many times in class, especially innovation in technologies. It takes time. It takes time. Again, from following the life cycle to designing it, to testing it, to making prototypes, to doing feasibility studies, to making sure it works. So it takes a lot of time. With the iPod, they did not do this. They did not invent most of the concepts that had to do with iPod. What they did, they actually built it based on prefabricated materials. They actually got, you know, the screen from one place. They got the touch sensors from the other place. The battery from one place. So stuff off the shelf. So they use off-the-shelf components, and instead of making it themselves, they bundled it in a very clever way, and they were able to go to market, and it was a big hit. Obviously, iPod is one of the reasons Apple survived, you know, and became obviously one of the dominant industries in the smartphone concept. Okay, so iPod was an example how no need to build everything ourselves. Let us buy them and put them together and reevaluate the market based on what we actually bought. Okay, another very good example is the Swede Munson lung. This is so cool. You know, I love this example. The idea of Swede Munson, the guy is called Swede Munson, and you could see it in front of you, this guy wearing the Swede Munson lung. The concept was, this guy was obsessed with the idea of, I want to save people from a sunken submarine. So, you know, submarines are underwater, and usually if they're going to sink, typically usually during the World War and during the wars, many people die. So he was watching on the news one day. He saw about 200, 300 people who died from a sunken submarine. And he was obsessed for his life, his whole life, or most of his life. He was trying to invent something that will allow people to escape from a sunken submarine. And it took him years and years and years, and he invented something called the Swede Munson lung. But the irony is where? The irony is that the Swede Munson lung was used only 4 times ever because it was so simple. We don't need it. You know, the easiest technology is no technology at all in this case. Is open, you know, the submarine door, window, or hatch. Okay, jump from it, close your mouth, and make yourself float all the way to the top, you know? So the idea was, we don't have to invent something that doesn't need technology. Not just because I'm obsessed with something, I need to do it. The simplest idea was, we don't need any technology. Let's open it and you're going to float to the top of the water. Okay? So sometimes when we think about these ideas, again, from the iPod, that they did not invent anything, they just use ideas from this person that was so obsessed with the concept, and he added technology, and you could see where wearing this, somebody wearing this sweet Munson lung. These show you that we have to sit and think sometimes, is what is the job to be done? And this is what the whole concept of today's lecture is. What is the job to be done? What are we trying to do? And can we do it in an easy, no technology at all way? Or can we do it with technology, but we do not have to invent the technology ourselves? And these are two simple examples of each. Another example was the concept proposed by some students. Let me give you this example. So the idea was water pollution. When it rains, usually in the US or any other country, I don't know, in Dubai it doesn't rain too much, but in country, even in Dubai, actually, yeah, ironically enough, it only rains maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year. But when it does, I don't know if you noticed, Sheikh Zayed, Hamad bin Zayed Road, all these roads are flooded with water, right? They're flooded. And that water that you see, again, this is a small example of Dubai, compare it to Europe and other countries. And that water that is flooding the streets, it's filled with bacteria, okay? And bacteria from animal waste, from plant waste, from, again, the environment. So when it rains, all this runoff, we call it, water from the rain, it's carrying bacteria and dirt and typically disgusting stuff. So when it carries them, typically it goes automatically into our oceans, or again, any exit it finds. Yes, you enjoy it when it rains, of course. So any exit it finds, so this rain is dirty, full of bacteria. Rain goes to where we drink, for maybe drinking water supplies, or the ocean itself, which causes water pollution. And this is a big, huge problem all over the world, not only here. So these students came and actually came up with a very clever solution. And their solution was simple. Let's look at their solution. Their solution was, let us use Mother Nature. And the concept is so simple. They kind of dig tunnels, like you can see them in number 1 there. They're not tunnels, they're like filters. And this will allow the rain, the runoff rain, to go inside them. And instead of going directly to the ocean, it goes deep down. So it goes vertically down, as you could see from the picture. And this will allow the sand, I don't know if you know, if the bacteria, you put it under a specific depth, it will die. So that water, if it goes down in the sand and then goes out of the sand again, the sand will act as a filter. Very simple idea. They won awards for this, by the way. So this will allow the sand, again, Mother Nature, to actually filter out all this disgusting water full of bacteria, to make it almost 99.9% bacteria-free when it goes back to the ocean. So you can see the picture there. So again, why am I showing you this? 1, these are students like you and typically younger. 2, again, obviously they won a lot of awards, and it was a very simple idea that really solves a problem, and they found an opportunity where others couldn't find this. So I just wanted to give you these 3 beautiful examples, 1 from a leading company like Apple, 1 from somebody we don't know, and 1 from, again, a bunch of students working on a problem that we are all facing. Okay? Any questions so far? Are we good? Yes, they did use filtration, and this filtration is using the sand itself. They did not make filters themselves. They actually use the sand as a filter. That was the idea behind it. Okay? So yes, thumbs up if you're with me. So because maybe I'm moving a bit fast, so please send me thumbs up so that I know that we are all on track. Please, thank you so much. Again, just to make sure that you are with me. Thank you, guys. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. So let us go to, you know what? Let's take a break now. Let's take a break. Let's take 5 minutes, and we're gonna come back. So I'm gonna pause this. So we're gonna take 5 minutes break. You could drink something, I could drink something, and we come back to the video. So I'm gonna broadcast again only on YouTube now. So it's gonna be a new broadcast link, and I'm gonna send it to you on YouTube. Okay? So take 5 to 10 minutes, and I see you in 10 minutes. Same thing, please. Huh? So the link will be sent on the WhatsApp group. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. See you in 10 minutes.